Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Cicero Planning Board meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Bloss, would you lead us off, please?
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business is the approval of the minutes from the May 15th meeting. Any questions or comments? Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Mr. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey. Yes. Ms. Scanlon,
yes.
Mr. Bloss.
Yes.
And I vote yes, minutes are approved. And now we'll open the meeting to public comment. If there's anybody here that would like to address the planning board on any active application, you may do so now. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you tonight?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Great, doing well, thanks.
Back in. The microphone. Oh,
That would help.
oh, it's a new button. It's a new button. New button, new microphone. Okay, thank you very much. Jay Reardon, 8763 Brewerton Road. My property has been sold to the Micron campus and I'm moving out of it, but I'm still a stakeholder. With regard to number 3, which is the site plan for Next Choice Property Holdings, that sort of kind of seems to land rather smack dab in the middle of a area that's I believe the consulting engineers with Bergmans and Colliers for the comprehensive plan have identified as a potential area for a town center. I think any applicant who's seeking things through the planning board at this time should be notified and fully informed if Bergmans and Colliers and the Comprehensive Plan Committee for Cicero do intend that area to be the future town center. The information that is coming through the Comprehensive Plan Committee, especially their potential land use draft regulations, which I emailed Mr. Procopio about yesterday. That information is substantially valuable to people because it does sort of kind of demonstrate where the town might be looking for eminent domain properties going forward. I would suggest that the comprehensive plan information be released as soon as possible. And any information that you folks here on the planning board, with all due respect, might have regarding a town center near this third item should be disclosed. Thank you very much.
Is there anybody else that would like to address the board? Given nobody else has approached, we'll close the public input and move on to the first agenda item. This is for a proposed sign permit for a veterinary care at 7901-7915 Brewerton Road. The applicant here. Good evening.
There's a proposed signage for total veterinary care. They're looking for 2 signs on the facade and to fill in the top pennant pylon that's already existing bases there. So those would stay the same size. It's a total of 115.03 square feet.
For the 2 signs of 115 square feet.
115.03 total. Counting both sides of the pylon. Okay, so it'd be minus 14.7.
A little over 100. Which exceeds what the zoning board would I mean, your office would be able to approve. Zoning office.
That's correct, right.
Correct, they have 41 feet of linear frontage. They're kind of stuck in the corner there.
Mark, I saw, do you still have the street elevation? Pull it up, please. So the board knows it's the Hunt facility building, right? This area here.
Correct.
And you can see the dry cleaning sign on their sketch.
It is an awkward facade for signage. New signage, I guess.
Yeah. We'll go through and open it up to questions. From my perspective, it's a bit big. I mean, you're encroaching on the site next door, and the colors, I think, are the green. Just seems like a bit much to me, but with that, we'll open it up to questions. Mr. Duval.
Yeah, why does it need to be so big?
It doesn't, it's just, what the customer asked me to put on, they felt they needed the 24-inch letters. To grab everyone's attention when you come in the plaza, cause it's getting pretty busy there with the new tenants. You got Dave's Chicken, you got O'Reilly's, Jersey Mike's. I was just there the other day during lunchtime and it was crazy.
How's the chicken?
I didn't have chicken, I had Jersey Mike's.
Can you go to the street elevation again? Google, yes. Yeah, so you can get an idea what the Hunt sign was there.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was wondering if it couldn't be reworked and,
It could
such that
definitely be reworked. I
would be
think the
quite
next
so
step
big.
down would be maybe like an 18-inch letter.
Okay,
24-inch letters are pretty common in the sign industry. Everyone thinks it's big, but once you get it up there, it looks a lot different than, I mean, the scale drawings are to scale. But it always looks a little different.
and you got the logo and everything too on
Correct.
top. Okay, I'm good.
Chuck?
I think they were just worried about being stuck in the corner there. I mean, obviously they're signing the lease for it, but they wanted the most attention when you pulled in,
And I understand that.
just like everyone.
Yeah.
So you're proposing going in where the Hunt sign is, or the other one?
The Hunt, now leasing is O'Reilly's, I believe now.
Oh, it's a, oh.
And then to the right of the dry cleaners, there's a space and then there's Dave's Chicken. I
Hmm.
believe.
Well, as long as we stay pretty much within the parameters of the town code, but total veterinary care is a lot of letters. So you're limited to what you can do there. But make sure you don't encroach on some of the other businesses with their signage. The way this here, the one on the right there, just dominates. That little
I believe the
sign.
landlord called about the colors also, spoke with somebody at the town. Their other option would be to take the green line out, maybe just go all blue behind. But they were open to suggestions what the town would like.
I'd like to see a different design though, within those parameters, see what you can come up with. You might have to put the words on 2 lines to accommodate it, I don't know. Because you can't squeeze it together, it'd be so small, nobody read it. So it's a bit of a challenge there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
So I just have concerns about the dry cleaners, the long-term tenant there, kind of are taking over. Yeah, so is there a way to redo it to just stay within the parameters of the dry or the veterinary cares?
Yeah, we
Part of
proposed
building.
some signage below that, then it left the whole triangle facade open. That kind of looks strange, from drawing wise. We could try Making the letters smaller and moving it over a bit so it's not impeding on the dry cleaners.
See what Hunt had.
Yeah, I mean, I like the colors, but I do understand Mark's point. Nothing else in that plaza has that much color. You could make the letters blue. Keep the green line, make the letters blue. Keep your logo, but just make it all smaller and stay over.
What part of this sign is lit?
It would be the letters, those are your standard channel letters, they're 3 inches in depth, LED internally illuminated. So the faces would light up, and then the logo, that would all light up. They're individual though, so it's not backlit or.
Any thoughts on that, Mark?
Well, I don't know if the one-stop dry cleaners is lit or not. I guess it's kind of a, I mean, this, I don't know what the vintage of this is, but it's before Jersey Mike's, for instance, and I don't know, Steve, do you remember, do they have a sign
Theirs is not a book.
like there? But placement wise, is it in,
Oh,
is it,
Jersey Mike's is-
Yeah.
is it?
Can you change the dates on it, Mark? That should be.
I-
They're more recent. You had that.
So Jersey Mike's has a aluminum backer with channel letters mounted to that backer.
Yeah,
Just
lost it
channel
now.
letters. Yeah. That dry cleaners is also channel letters. It's those illuminated.
So I'm just trying to look, if I can get this back here.
They're also across the street. See their signage. correct?
Yeah, that's
Across the
what
street.
they're reading.
Okay, here's a different one, right? Okay, so this is,
That's what it looks like.
so I'm just trying to look at the placement. And so the one that's the odd man out, I guess, because these are all up above basically, you know, your parapet or whatever you want to say here, right? And these are above the band right here, essentially. I think the Dave's Hot Chicken ended up above, right? So the dry cleaner is kind of the odd one out here,
Right.
you know, I mean, ideally you would take that one and move it up here and then have a similar sign over there.
When we first proposed some signage, we had it down where the dry cleaners was and it didn't look right at all.
Yeah. And and I guess if we go back to where the Hunt one was, it was kind of straddling it. So I don't know, because of this dry cleaners, it's kind of, the dry cleaner is a little bit off relative to the rest of them, I guess.
Can you
been there
remember
a
back to
Back to,
the newer one?
probably,
It's because the dry cleaner's been there the longest.
So when you look at O'Reilly's, they have that brown underneath. And I think to go to green, it would just be too much. I think it needs to stay like O'Reilly's. So the building shows some consistency.
Okay.
In my opinion.
But the blue's okay?
so you'd want this green to become brown.
Yes.
Like around the top?
So
Yeah.
it boxes it in like a frame.
And then
Like next door, like O'Reilly's.
you want this to be a bit smaller.
Yes.
And I guess the question is, where do you place it? I mean, do you try and offset it? Do you have it centered like the Hunt?
Well, if we went to 18-inch letters, it would bring it in. We could also stack the total veterinary care vertically and not use the logo. So just have total veterinary care in the middle.
Maybe have them come back with a couple options
Yeah.
to
Yes.
review and make a choice.
Mary, do you have anything else?
No.
Don?
I just, the way it's presented, the total veterinarian care, just, I kind of lose the dry cleaners in there. Well, the first thing you see is the total veterinarian care. And then down here in the small letter, if they were segregated, I think I would like that better. So that here's the vet care, and here's the dry cleaners.
Yeah, and I think the hunt sign was better for that as well. For the dry cleaner. The old tenant.
I'm all set.
Zach,
I'm all set for tonight.
thank you. David?
I used to own a sign business, so I have, isn't your original proposal, is that painted the blue or is that signage?
So after,
So you'd have to build a complete insert for that area.
no, it would just be painted and the channel letters would be on a raceway.
Can you go back to that newer parking lot image? So it looks like the building has that arch where Hunt was, and those Hunt letters, I'm guessing those are 2 feet, right?
Those look close to it.
Those look probably like 24 inch. So, I mean, if you could, for the rest of the board, you know, if you could build something that fit into that arch, it seems to fit nicely over where Hunt was, and maybe use the colors. And I still think you can use the lettering and the logo over that, in that area, but that would just be my opinion. You get your, you know, your cross at the top and some lettering at the bottom. And in that case, with the dry cleaners, that centerpiece, I wouldn't mind it on the bottom with the dry cleaners. It would balance the building out, really, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, so you have some options to bring back. Steve?
I don't have anything to add. Thanks.
Neil, anything? Mark, anything additional?
No.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a continuation of a site plan review for the Clinton's Ditch Pepsi project at 8478 Party Road. Welcome back.
Got with us, I guess the big outstanding item was the architecture. We'll show you what we've done with those elevations. Current drawings here, current drawings there. I just sent the sheets. Yeah. Let's get a mark. We'll start one at a time. We'll go through all of them. So the main building addition, the last meeting recommended that the match the
Yeah.
I do see some of these prints are not clean. They do look a little different, but during shop submittal during the construction, they'll actually have samples that don't match. Each pre-engineered metal building manufacturers, their colors are a little different. So during submittals, we'll actually have the samples that match. You should look at that blue and this blue.
Yeah.
You can never get it, but
Right.
it's a field situation with the chips, and it will be matched. So we go down to 81 to see uniformity in the colors.
Great.
So this is the main building addition, this the side elevation. We tell them that it's page down. This is all this is perpendicular to 81, so this is what is
Right.
not this is the so this is the front side. That's an existing Pepsi sign. The ditch logo, that's all existing. To the left of that is the new addition. So those colors will match.
London.
And the bottom elevation is the back side of it.
Became nice.
Main building before we go to the. So this is the employee entrance. It's a very small section. It's just bumped out between the two buildings, so it's just matching the upper and the bottom. That side facing from. Yeah, the parking lot, yeah, the parking lot. I guess, are we good with the main building before we go on to the fleet? Yes, I just want to.
This is what's existing.
Just color matching, yeah, so the color will match that.
What's that?
The other building.
Yes, you ready for it? Yes.
And fleet, so the intent of the fleet facility is gonna be the same color blue and with the two-tone tan bar. Match paint building. Last meeting, we had it all tan color. Last meeting, we asked that we match the.
Which side?
So- Neither of those.
Yeah, that's the, on the top, just so it's clear, that's the roof that you're seeing on the top. So when you rotate it, go to the next slide.
So that's facing north, the
Yeah.
top one.
Yeah.
So the one on the top is the elevation for 81.
And below. Building.
It's not what I was expecting. So the tan line,
There's a lot less. And certainly.
yeah, I expected the bottom line to be higher. You're saying it matches?
No,
The
I
other
think
building.
that's color. It's
Oh, the color.
different scale building. Water.
Yeah, that's not what the standards, new standards say though. They say that the first floor should be a color. And then we'll-
It's a single story. There's only one floor.
inside, outside, that's more than one story, right?
One story.
What's the height? 30. Okay. First story. Sure.
But is it an issue for you to raise that? What do you, what are the other opinions? I mean, again, this project came in before the new standards, so
Yeah, as an example here, that. Yeah, the loading dock doors, right, you've got the bay or whatever this is, up above the loading docks. And this one.
I know you don't. But I agree with you, and I'm not an architect. You see what Mark's saying? On the elevation, the color on the first floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you could bring it up a little ways, you
It's that
know,
one right
I
there.
think it would be more compatible or look better.
Is this? Because we're only looking at this right on. Is this all in the same plane? Oh, I'm sorry. Is this
Look at this.
bumped out at all, or is this area all in the same?
It's all the same.
Okay.
Existing building. Yeah. Yes, correct.
This is the rear of building, right? This is even the side.
That's the side. Those are match.
Just-
Connect those two.
Okay, so
They're
that,
nice on.
so that's all the north side of.
Correct. Yeah. And the only reason that's that high is to match the profile.
Yeah.
I agree, and we can do that tonight. We can make an approval subject to that happening tonight. So I'm not, we don't want to hold you up. I saw the look.
Oh, yeah. Not done.
we're gonna make it part of the approval with condition. Might as well, right? And it doesn't cost it. It's not, as far as,
Top section, bottom section. slide.
so all the way around.
Yeah, yeah.
Questions? Jim?
No, I agree that you should, the bottom should be brought up. With the cream or beige color.
Yeah.
One question though, how are you doing as far as the state goes with
See?
the DEC
So
with it?
we're still working with the DC right now, they're leaning towards offsite mitigation for the permit. So they're supportive, it's just been a long process.
Okay,
They're at, that it's their time, like not ours.
okay,
It's ours would be settling up in a month or less, but they work at a different pace.
I understand.
If you go to onsite mitigation, contact.
Stormwater will stay the same, but the mitigation might be beyond. Portion that would be reconstructing wooded area. Stormwater, that's the discharge point, so the stormwater numbers and calculations.
And so that mitigation area, we take down trees previously. Yeah,
Yeah, there were, yeah.
because now we're there.
I'm good.
Chuck?
As much of a challenge it is working with the DEC, with you guys. I was just talking to some people in north of the lake, Oswego County is as bad, if not worse. They've moved to a 500-foot buffer. Unbelievable.
Hmm.
And I remember last year I made in regards to noticing, your new facility. What soft drinks do you mainly make? Besides Pepsi, of course.
Pepsi.
They have a lot.
Okay.
Seltzer waters. Ginger beer, seltzer waters, sports drinks, healthy energy.
Okay. Any name brand sodas though, besides Pepsi?
Yeah, they're all some kids.
Okay. Well, last year when you guys were in, I made a suggestion to do a really cool thing, maybe too cool, is to have 2 or 3 of those tanks wrapped to look like the sodas you make. That would be it. That would be everybody would know what you are just looking at that. So it was just a suggestion from a
I think we told them no.
artistic.
Was Mountain Dew.
I think you should have an old school Pepsi sign.
Mm.
That would be nice.
Thank you.
Mary, anything?
So I do agree with having the proportion of the colors be the same as on the main building, but my question is, what is the material of the gray on the bottom? Is that just concrete? Is that what that is?
So that's gonna be an insulated metal panel, same as the top.
Okay. And on the main building, is that what it is too, or no? Oh, it is? Okay. All right, I'm good, thanks.
Don?
Let's get going.
Yeah,
I'm all set.
That's mine, Zach. Dave? You're good? Steve, you're good? Neil's still writing. Mark?
Yeah, I'll second.
I'll make a motion for our standard seeker. Do we have a second?
Second,
Mr. Duval,
yes,
Mr. Abbey,
Yes.
Mrs. Scanlon,
Yes,
Mr. Blas.
yes.
And I vote yes, seeker passes. Neil, would you propose a motion for approval with a recommended change, please? When you're ready.
application on Whitman's Ditch, 8478 Carnegie Road, proposed warehouse extension, restricted condition on the following. Color scheme, drainage, and road basement, never adopted the planning board, in regards to this application, incorporated by reference. Each of the site plans and board approved that are according to the project, most substantial conjoint with them. The applicant will continue letting you. Unless no new sign approved. And the sign is shown on the render, not a. No new sign.
Thank you. Would somebody like to make that a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do you have a second?
Second,
Mr. Devon,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey,
yes.
Ms. Scanlon,
Yes.
Mr. Bloss?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Good luck with it. Now get going. Move on to our last agenda item. This is a continuation of a site plan for the property at 5874 Route 31. It's a proposed change use. Welcome back. Fancy. You say they're not the colors.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
So. We're moving the garage door to the back.
It's moved.
It's moved, no, yeah, it's moved on the.
Yes.
Yes, it's moved. And please keep going.
Yeah, so the major changes were the moving of the garage, we put that in the rear, and then, we made a material change, which I'm holding in my hand. Corey gray, smart side material,
Instead of the ephes. We
Yes.
were originally gonna put, so it's gonna be.
swapped out.
And so is that the area that looks white?
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
No, I know, that's.
the trouble with these renderings, they, you turn the sun on, and then all the colors look completely different.
That's a little red. So that'll be the smart siding.
Ah, for sure. And then, yeah, as you can see, the paneling.
And I'm told this is a J channel to make sure that the water doesn't drip on. But that's basically how it is. The smart siding will be on top of this, so it'll look like that. There'll be a strip, which is some type of siding, but to stop the drip from going onto the metal, and then there will be the metal on the bottom.
Much nicer than the block.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it has some push-pull to it, so it has a little bit of architectural character, so it's not just a monolithic wall. And, foundation plantings and, no other changes. Mark gave us some comments. We took a look at those. I updated the schedule or two minor items. Nothing. Calling out to anything, Mark.
I guess the only thing I have is related to what's being done with the landscape area. So that, my thought is that they should either maintain or continue the sidewalk across the front of the building. And then, you know, since you're not gonna have access to the door anymore, really do a landscape island, a larger landscape island in the entire front of the building up to where the existing sidewalk is. So it's something more similar to what's being done over here. And I guess the question is, would you want to have some curbing to define that similar to what's being done, you know, down through the rest of the corridor leading up? So that's really my only comment for the board's consideration and discussion, is that layout area in front of. in Front.
I had the same notes that I was gonna bring up. With regard to the front area, the pavement's not needed there anymore, and it should turn into landscaping. Grass and planting.
Lawn and landscaping, or we could.
Yeah, grass and planting, yes.
Sort of like what's next door.
Yeah,
Yep.
so if we kept our planting the way it was. And, just did a lawn section in between the sidewalk and the planting, that would be acceptable.
Can you go back to that street elevation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a sidewalk from the front here, you get access from the parking lot. And this would become landscape.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So I would come up with a new design for it.
Next door, like, 'cause the other one has, yeah, so there's like plants and then grass, so something.
Yeah,
like
so-
that.
And I would keep, sorry, okay, back over. I would cover up that meter.
Yes, thank you.
And then another thing, we're just looking at it, you don't know if there's a panel, it's not on the survey, but there's a panel, I think needs some love to the left there. It's going right there. It's just- there's-
Are you talking about the-
Right there, yeah, since they own both properties, it's not really going to be, yeah, that panel there is non-existent, so I think we would. I think we could replace that one as well. Yeah.
Oh.
Sidewalk?
Yeah.
Probably, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm surprised. Christian told me that, I never looked at water.
Anybody want? Yeah.
Water.
Cheaper, lose, yeah.
So that's something not there, Christian? I don't know.
Look it
It
up.
was 24. Oh, no, it's 23. 23 image, so 1 year old.
And that doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, so we'll have to find out who took it away.
So we have to follow, because that would be.
Right.
Right, okay,
Good.
right, okay. Right,
Good, that's good, thank you.
So we won't.
We'll
So,
find out who did
or we'll
it,
do it and we'll build up.
we'll find out who did it and get them to fix it.
Yeah, and that doesn't seem to be.
I agree. Mark, your review letter talked about the right of ways and combining lots. Also talked about-
so they've got, shown on here. Basically two types of easements. One, the first easement is this, pink area. Which would be, so this lot here that the building is on, is very small, is separate from the other parts. This pink easement would be to allow these parking spaces to be used by, on this other property, to be used by this building, 5874 building. The purplish easement would be for cross-access, really, a shared access easement here, is what it says. Between a lot of properties, really, I mean, you've got the fitness center over here, which can access through here. This parcel, I mean, can't get the parking spaces without accessing across it, north of the back of the building. And then you've got shared access with another parcel here, and then you've got this parcel back here. So essentially, you've got the two types of easements, you have the one for the parking spaces for the proposed building we're looking at, and then a shared access agreement between 3 or 4, well, yeah, 4, 3 to 5 parcels, I can't tell that.
4.
Yeah.
They do, but it's not blocked off here, so I'm assuming they're.
Right. They could.
So I don't believe any draft easement agreements been provided.
I haven't seen any, so I wasn't sure which way you're gonna go as to, are you providing easements or you? Really up to board decision.
So we're gonna do like a cross.
They're owned by different entities.
Yeah, and also the tenants, each tenant is responsible for their own lots.
But that would not affect.
Well, if they're owned by different entities, how are they all part of the same statement about all the different entities?
Well,
you own. Okay, so you could combine all that, of course. All right, so it's up to the board whether you want the combination of the lots or the
We would prefer easements right now because we just don't know in the future what's gonna happen and to make everything into one lot. You know, especially if you've already had leases signed and everything and the tenants are responsible for their single lot. So it just, know how the leases are.
I don't think it would affect the lease.
Well, yeah, tax wise, each is responsible for their own taxes on their property that they're renting, their lot that they're renting. Responsible for all the cleaning, you know, the snow plowing, they're responsible for their piece.
That would have to be worked, if we decide to go with combining lots, that would have to be worked out between the entities and the tenants. It seems to me like we have lots that are non-compliant that really would make sense to combine.
Doesn't.
What's the dozen part? And I'm only asking,
Building, one flat. Right. That's the dozen.
normally we wouldn't have a question about this, we would just say, you gotta combine your lots. This is kind of fielder's choice for the board. So,
I think we've been,
It's
we've
not,
been with it works.
it's not a bad, it would work as a solution, if we do a permanent declaration around the land, see the ownership, and everything was right. You could do a deed easement. Maybe a viable solution, combine the lots, now you do, I agree with Mark, now you got a bunch of buildings.
and easements it is, I would think.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna have to provide those easements. Mark, you also talked about dimensions for the parking spots.
Yeah, just to clarify the dimensions of the park, they're not dimensions here, but they could be. Yeah, they are, I'll do them. Yeah, it's just that. No problem. I think they're correct.
All right. Jim, do you have any questions?
I was gonna ask about the landscaping too, but, what's the story as far as lighting? Are you doing anything?
Yeah, that was on your review letter as well.
Well, plans.
So any existing needs to be,
Okay. All right.
Chuck?
Just so the board, I mean, there will have to be a light over a doorway or something, man doors.
Yeah, there
Which
should
should
be.
probably typically just be a standard, yeah, okay, yeah.
Wall
Good point.
pack or something.
Parking lot.
Chuck, anything?
Have you given any thought or ideas for signage in the future?
Just a sign on the building.
Just on the building.
Yeah, and that's size for, your standards and, yeah, it's a 12-foot wide by 1 tall
Okay.
sign, and our accent blue matches the blue in the right roofing. And unlike that other sign, there's a little less sugar in the tea. We left that triangle piece blank so that it doesn't hit you over the head.
What houses lit,
Great question.
or is it?
I don't think it is.
I don't-
Yeah.
So,
I think you're thinking,
okay, so it's not going to be lit at all.
no, he's a small shop working during the day. Yeah, it's not really for a customer.
So tenants, when they come in, would be pretty much based on what we see here in the rendering, as opposed to somebody trying to put up a billboard. Thank you.
Are we looking to do an approval tonight, or are we gonna wanna see the landscape? The landscaping,
You gave an application that just shows one. Now you say there's multiple owners for different lots, different entities, which is fine. I think the application should be amended to show who owns what lot. So then we know what, who has to get what easement to whom. All right. So that, you guys.
One owner, one.
Just to clarify, one application, or is it?
Just on the major applications, we know who actually owns and controls the property.
Chuck, you all set?
Not my thought, thank
Mary?
you.
So I heard you say that you're gonna make sure the landscaping covers the utility boxes. That's a thing, I don't like to see that from the
Yeah.
road. So thank you for that. And then also for lighting on the parking area, is that gonna be lit up? Oh, like any lights over there?
No, and that's for a couple reasons. First is, we have existing lights on the road and it's really close to them. And second is we're not using it. Working hours only. That's why we're not lighting, might not be there and doing any other lighting.
Okay. That's all I had.
Don?
I'm all set.
Zach? David? Oh, good.
I'm all set, thank you.
Neil? Mark?
Yeah, I think you covered it.
So next time we should be able to wrap it up.
Get something conditional that we provide the easement and then the.
No,
No.
you haven't, you have to first establish that you have the right to actually.
With the ownership.
And there's other issues that need to be addressed that we need to see. But next time we should be good.
Do I have to bring this big thing next time?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, can I take a picture of that? Because you're not gonna bring that back, all right?
Thank you.
That concludes our agenda items. Any questions or comments from our team? I just want to make one quick announcement. This coming Monday, June 10th, between 6 and 8 o'clock at the Brewerton Fire Department. They're doing a downtown Brewerton revitalization presentation. It's going to be open for questions, comments. So just if anybody's interested in going to that, please feel free to stop out. And with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?